Okay. All right. Okay. Looks like everything is working better than usual. Hopefully you can all hear me better today than last week. I had to be a little bit late today because I had to fix my sound. Hopefully that's working now. Got one thing I'd like to do here. Turn that just to. There we go. Okay. Sorry about that. Okay, I just turned myself off. Now I have my sound on and everybody can hear me. Hopefully everything is good and I cannot hear me and everything is awesome. Okay, so yeah, before we get too far into things, just a quick reminder. If you check the links, I have links to my webpage for all my occult products and services. I have classes. I teach people how to do all these things that we talk about, all the conjuration stuff, all the lore around the planetary magical stuff, getting in touch with your holy guardian angel, all the types of things that we need to do for this great work stuff. I do have classes on. They are on my website. Please, please, please check it out. Also, if you want to join and be a member here, that helps to support things. It's like Patreon. And that's all I got to say about money. Moving on. Okay. All right. So let's see here. All right. So today we're going to be talking about the struggle is real. Basically what we're talking about is the great work. We're always talking about the great work around here. And the great work is a process of transformation of the self that is designed. What day and time are the paid live classes? Paid live classes are third Thursdays of the month on Sundays at 4 p.m. So next Sunday, the 21st, is the next one, and we're going to be doing that one on wealth, prosperity magics, ways that I've used to get ahead, and just like the key things that we've done for prosperity and getting huge windfalls, and the things that my partner and I have done to in the last couple of years to really sort of amp things up, as it were. So yes, third Sundays, sorry, third Sundays of the month at 4 p.m. I might have said Thursdays because it's wealth and I was thinking of Jupiter. Okay, but back to today. The struggle is real. So the great work itself is the process of transformation of the self, right? And the reason I focus on money is because we need money to have the luxury of doing the great work. The process of transforming ourselves is we do it so that we become better at creating our world, right? Hey James, how's it going? But we're trying to create this world better according to our will and according to our desires, so that we can express the will of God through us. You know, Zeus's will, Zeus the head, Zeus the middle is us, Zeus the all in all. You know, our source has these ideas that it wants to express, that it incarnated as us to express into this world and to experience, right? In theory. And we're gonna do that by working with the 7 governors of the planetary powers to generate experiences in this reality. That's what we're going to do. And the great work helps us be better at that, right? And in the process, you know, it's solve et coagula. The process itself is documented in alchemy. The esoteric alchemical processes of the self-transformation are essentially what occultism is all about, right? What the magical practices are designed to do for you. Let's see, I have another. Okay, well, they are, the classes are recorded and you can always watch them whenever you want. The member classes, all members can access their member classes whenever the members want to. And of course you can message me at my member account and totally get member access to me, but you know, you get that anyway. So, let's see. Okay, so when we're doing this work, we're dissolving ourselves, we're purifying ourselves, and we're cleaning ourselves up. It's a struggle, it's a process, and the struggle is real. And in the great work, our struggle is different. I mean, it's still hard work, but it's the way it takes shape in our lives when we're trying to do the great work. It tends to be what they call, like in psychological terms, the shadow self, right? Or blockages. If you study the energy model, the chakras get blocked, and when you try to add more power to shake out the things that are blocked to express that energy, the things that are traumatic inside of you that are keeping that energy from expressing itself cleanly have to be worked through, and they express themselves in your reality as situations that you have to deal with and make the right conscious decisions about to overcome your negative patterns that we keep creating around ourselves. So like, and in other ways of looking at things, like if you go through a traumatic event in your life, if you don't get therapy for it and you don't deal with it, and if you don't learn to process those feelings that you felt during that traumatic episode, if you don't learn how to process those feelings and deal with that in a healthy way, what you end up doing is you recreate these situations in your life to continue to face and to continue to overcome. It's like if you go through your Saturn return in astrology, after 27 years, Saturn comes back around to where it was when you were born, and at 27 to 30 years. And at that time, like up until that time, you had one cycle of Saturn to face all the main problems you're going to face in your life. And if you've dealt with all of those problems in a positive way, the theory goes, if you've overcome your challenges and succeeded in your struggles, you get to move on to the next level. You take the experiences and the wisdom and you move up, you level up, you get more power, more authority. And people, when they hit 30, you'll see them shift in their life. They'll go from being, sort of like trying to figure out themselves and lay a foundation to all of a sudden figuring out how it works, starting to put the rubber to the road and really like going with places. Other people hit 30 and it's like they just start repeating everything they did from the time they were 12, and it's like, oh my God, what is wrong with you? You're doing the same things you did in high school. You're doing the same things you did in college. You're doing the same things you did all through your 20s, and when they're repeating themselves over and over again, and if you're doing that in your life, you're repeating these things, it's because in your initial Saturn cycle, you didn't overcome the astrological challenges that your natal chart tells you you're going to face in your life, right? Your natal chart is a really good indicator of what to expect in life, and your main challenges will be expressed there, and then you have to my wife walked by, in case you wonder why I smiled, as you overcome the challenges in your natal chart, you get more proficient, you get more experienced and more efficient at the things you do, and you level up, The great work for astrologers, people who practice astrological magic, I've seen a few people talk about how what they're working on is they conjure the daemons of the angles of their chart and their oppositions and things, and then they work with those daemons and integrate those forces into their magical practices until they are no longer working against them, but are harmonized and purified and cleansed. And that's exactly what the great work is. You take the negative side of things and you harmonize them and you cleanse them and you purify them so that they work for you instead of against you, right? So this is the process of the great work. What we're working on is overcoming the challenges that hold us back, and we are always our biggest challenges. So what are we struggling against? A lot of what we have to struggle with is ourselves, right? Our own proclivities to avoid responsibility for our own actions. We are very much the fulcrum of the above and the below. I've talked about this before, but that which is above is like that which is below, right? Zeus the head, Zeus the middle, Zeus the all in all. If you look at these models of a supernatural other world that is the source of this material world that we experience, the unmanifest becomes manifest through the human being. The human being makes the choices and takes the actions based on those choices that create the events in our lives, right? Our experiences are built on our actions, which are built on our choices, which are built on our thoughts and our thinking, which are built on our experiences with our spirituality, our emotional state at the time, our memories, our training, our programming, our biology, our chemistry. Were we hungry in the moment? All these things are influencing us, and every time that we take a step, every time we make a choice and we act on that choice, we are making the invisible materialize through us, right? We are the number one actors that manifest our magical intent in our material world through our choices and our decisions. Most of what we do with our magic is about setting up opportunities for ourselves to take advantage of. But where people fail when they do magic is they don't see the opportunity because we're blind, because we're ignorant, right? Oh my God, I don't know how money works. So these spirits are creating these great ways to make money, but you don't know how money works. You're not going to see the opportunity. You're like, oh, look, somebody dropped a wallet. Here's your money back, sir. And you got nothing, right? Or, you know, and of course that's the right thing to do. I'm using that as a blatant example, but there's opportunities that come your way. Like a friend of mine talked to me about, this thing that he was getting for his wife because she was interested in laser stuff, and next thing you know, I've got a process that's making me an extra, you know, as much money as I spend time on it, I can make more money with it, you know, up to $10,000-$20,000 a month if that was something that I had the time to develop the market for, you know. And it's lucrative, but I'm actually interested in some other things right now, so I'm going to pursue those instead and get back to the lasers later. But you know, it's just these opportunities come up in your life, and these spirits manifest these opportunities for you, and you have to take advantage of them. And when I took advantage of that opportunity, it led to another opportunity with this friend that led to some more opportunities, and more things are building up. And that's how this stuff works. It builds up momentum in your life. These spirits influence things, but you have to take those choices. You have to take those opportunities when they manifest, and you have to seize them. You know, carpe diem, seize your day. Take advantage of the stuff that the spirits line up for you. I am super freaking dehydrated. I'm just going to take a minute to drink some water. Sorry. Anyway, all right. So there's the self is the big struggle that most of our crappy lives are 99% based on. We don't want to do the hard things that we are supposed to do to have the nice things that we want. And that's just, I'm speaking from my own, this is all coming from my perspective, and I think a lot of us are all like me. We're not all like me. If this doesn't apply to you, don't take it personally. This is based on my experiences very much. So I want to make sure I say that so that people don't think I'm like obviously a jackass. I am a jackass, but I'm not obviously intentionally a jackass. But so I am often my biggest problem, and I think a lot of people are their biggest problem. I see people make the same choices over and over again that lead to terrible lifestyles. You know, people who are really good at rebuilding from scratch will destroy their lives over and over again. Every time things start to go wrong, they don't like it because they don't have the skills to just fix the little things, but they have great skills to fix everything. So it's easier just to crap on everything and start over again than it is to fix the little thing, right? You know, I had a friend just go through a whole cycle of homelessness and putting her shit all back together again because that's what she's really good at, you know. But she could have just dealt with one little part of her life, in my opinion, and might have. But I don't know. It's easy to fix other people's problems when you aren't experiencing the problems themselves. But anyway, whatever. It's really easy to judge. I ain't gonna go there anymore, though. Point is people can be really good at fixing big things and not be any good at fixing little things, so they destroy things. breaking our patterns and our habits. Like if you study the mind and how it works, and the human body and how it works, and how we can program ourselves to act in certain ways, people who are courageous, people who are cowardly, they turn that stuff around and they reframe their events. Courageous people can have a traumatic experience that turns them cowardly. After that, they freeze when they try to cross a bridge. After, all their lives, they were able to run across high places. But because something bad happened to them, they freeze and panic from then on. And it's something their body won't let them overcome until they work on that with a lot of therapy and hypnosis and changing themselves and taking all the steps that you have to take to reprogram yourself, The self is a big deal. We are often our biggest obstacles, but that's not the only thing that we have to deal with. In the Bible, it says there's a section where it talks about we struggle not against good and evil, but against the powers and principalities in high places, right? What I had the Arignes in here somewhere. Oh, here they are. Okay, so these are the wrong pictures. Okay. So I want to go back to the Derveni manuscript and the Corpus Hermeticum. These are the two texts that I go to for my personal reframing of my experiences here in life. In the Hermetic manuscript, the divine Pymander tells us that we are made in God's image. The first human being descended through the 7 spheres, received a portion of each governor's powers to create the world. They were made in God's image. God is a creator God. They poked their head into the material world. They saw their own image. They fell in love. Their spirit manifested in the material world with their own image that nature created, because she fell in love with that image, and for love's sake they were united and materialized and all that stuff. In the Derveni manuscript, it's more like God, Zeus consumed the phallus that was the form, the symbol of all creation, recreated the universe, became the universe, generated the gods out of himself, and became all of everything that is, and then emerged himself into that as the gods, as the people, as everything that we've experienced ever since. Merge those two philosophies together and you end up with basically what I believe. And it's a pretty cool system of, like, Zeus the head, Zeus the middle, Zeus the all in all explains the underlying metaphysics of it. And then the Pymander thing kind of goes into the details of how it is that the creation happens, the chain of manifestation. It gives it a little bit of planetary details around it, But in both of these manuscripts, it tells you why bad things happen. So I want to talk about what the struggle is that we actually struggle against in terms of good and evil, right and wrong. And this is something that's been bugging the shit out of me lately, especially in the last, a couple months or so. It's really been heavy on my heart, because the world is a terrible place, and I've always thought it was beautiful. And it is beautiful, right? I live in the Pacific Northwest. I've got these beautiful trees, beautiful land, beautiful property, beautiful, that's not my property, I rent, but beautiful place, beautiful scenery, right? This is a beautiful planet. You go to the desert, there's beauty in the desert. You go to the ocean, and there's beauty in the ocean. Each place I've ever lived on this planet has been beautiful in its own way. The Midwest, the coasts, the East Coast is different than the West Coast. Beautiful. Baltimore has its own beauty that is hard, and it's different than the beauty in the Pacific Northwest. But it's beautiful. There's something intrinsically beautiful about existence. I think it's that Zeus all in all, right? I think it's that shine, recognition of ourself in everything that makes it all shine, right? But at the same time, it's horrible. It's horrifying. A presidential candidate got shot yesterday or the other day, whatever. Yeah, it's horrifying. Why is this crap going on? The presidential candidate in question is a piece of crap. Hate him. His opponent also, I had great hopes for him, but he seems less and less with every passing day. I want the blue ticket to win. I'm definitely voting blue and stuff, but just because I prefer people to be nice. It used to be that the Republicans believed in Jesus and the things that Jesus stood for, but now they don't. They don't do that anymore. But now the liberals are the ones that are actually trying to take the Sermon on the Mount and make it a way to live, as if it were actually how humans can treat each other, and that upsets people. I don't know why that upsets people, but basically, we're trying to be nice. But anyway, I think that the liberal philosophies, I mean, not all of them, but the ones about treating people well, that aligns with the Pymander. If we're and Zeus the all in all. If we're all parts of the same thing, it makes sense to be nice to ourselves. Oh, what do I know, though? I don't know. I don't like to hurt myself anymore, so I try not to do that. Yeah. So these texts tell us why things are bad, right? So there's an evil in this world. There's a struggle in everything. There is pain and suffering. If you look at your life, when was the last time you felt pain in an emotional situation? Emotional pain comes from being treated poorly, from being taken advantage of, from expecting something and getting something that was worse, or not getting what you were told, right? Betrayal. When somebody says, I will only have sex with you for the rest of my life, and then they have sex with someone else. Oh my God, it's the worst. Oh, betrayal. Terrible emotions, right? Pain and suffering, and all this suffering that people have. This president is going to take over the United States and ruin democracy. And it's painful, right? It's the end of the United States, and we were great. I mean, great for us, some of us, not all of us, but yeah. So depending on how you look at things, it's great or it's bad. But so much of this stuff is just that it's that Vanity Fair crap. It's not real. It's just human society. It's cultures. It's made up stuff. Like, money isn't real. It's an idea. It's a piece of paper that people say is worth this, and we're going to have inflation now, and these guys have it all, but you don't have any, and these are securities, and this is crypto, but you can't have it because we make the rules, and whatever. At the end of the day, some people get to do whatever the heck they want, and the rest of us have to work. It's serfs, and it's noble class, and it's the kings. It's always been that way, and when the workers are having a terrible time of it while the wealthy people are having a great time, eventually we revolt, we overthrow them, and then some of the workers become the new ruling class, and it's rinse and repeat over and over again. Where does this evil come from? Why did Caesar disband the Senate and establish himself? Why do we have Palpatine as the model of what is going to happen here in America? Why do we know in advance how it ends? Why do we keep seeing it over and over again? Why is there Putin? Why is there Xi? Why is there Trump? Why is there what's his name in Venezuela that died? Chavez, right? Why are there all these people? Why is there Castro? Why is there Gaddafi? Why is there Saddam Hussein? Why are the strong men strong? Why do we worship them and put them in charge of us and suffer underneath of them? Why is it in a democracy where we're ruled by everybody, the Bob Menendez people are sitting there with bars of gold in their house? Why are these Democrats that are supposed to be supporting, female rights and sexual reproductive rights? Why are they on these planes to Epstein Island? Not just Democrats, Republicans too. But why are these people doing that? Why is there evil in everything? Where's that struggle? Why do we have to do that? That's like where all our trauma comes from. I was talking earlier about how we struggle against ourselves and the shit that we have to deal with, that we get from our trauma, right? Where does that come from? Why are people bad to each other? Why is there evil? I don't know. I don't got any answers for that. I don't know. I don't know. I know it comes from I know where it comes from, and I know how to get away from it, and that's the good news. The good news is I know how to get rid of it in your personal life individually. I don't know how to fix it for everybody. I think everybody has to do it individually. I can do it for me. You can do it for you. Everybody can do it for themselves, but nobody can do it for everybody. All right, but it's pretty simple. All right, and these manuscripts that tell us how to do the great work and tell us that we're these gods incarnate, who can manifest this material world for our own pleasure and our experience, this beautiful place that we enjoy. It explains why people are like that, why they're like that. They do not pursue God. They are impious. These pictures over on the right here, or I guess I hope they're on the right. These pictures over there, those pictures are of the Erinyes. The Erinyes are the fates. They are the wicked fates that bring evil things into your life. They inspire men to be evil to other men, and women to be evil to other women, and men to be evil to women, and women to be evil to men. They inspire this because human beings can only do good when we are pursuing our source. Our source is the only way. It is the only way that humans can be good to one another, right? Whosoever therefore shall know themselves shall know all things in themselves, especially they shall know God, according to whose image they are made. All right, so that's what that says about that. I wish I had my other, so the reason my sound was messed up is because my profiles are screwed up in this thing, and I wish I had my other pictures here. I don't, I don't have them handy. But the Derveni manuscript, let me see if I can pull it up on the web so I can just at least look it up. This is Derveni. Many questions and some answers. All right, so basically, all right, let me see if I can find, oh, I have it in my notes here. Huh, good news, everybody. I have it in my notes. Where is it? Oh, yes. All right, so, no, that's not it. All right. So here's from the Derveni manuscript. There's a poem that he writes to the people who are receiving this. It's not a poem. It's more of an introduction to the manuscript. And the author is the author of the Derveni manuscript. He's an initiator, and he's telling the initiates what they need to know. Right. So let's see. Close the doors, you uninitiated. So anybody who's not initiated, get out. Right? For I will speak the sacred words to those who have been initiated. O blessed ones who have seen these rites, you will go down to Hades' halls with shining souls, right? So you're going to have shining souls because you know these things. But those who have not been initiated will suffer a fate as terrible as their ignorance. Therefore, entrust your hopes to Zeus, right? So this is it. This is how you do it. You entrust your hopes to Zeus, the Father and King of all, who accomplishes all things, and observe his signs in fire and smoke, which he sends forth as tokens of his will. So you observe the signs of Zeus, according to this guy, and you avoid the fates, the evil things of the fates. Do not heed the voices of the Erinyes, right? So who are these Erinyes? They're the fates. The fates are these entities that control our experiences. The Erinyes are in the Derveni manuscript, they weren't just the fates that are the Moira. Zeus is Moira. Zeus Moira, Zeus Metis, Zeus Kephale, Zeus Mesos, Zeus Hopanto Krator. These are all his names, right? Zeus Moira, he is fate itself. He is through the fates are expressed the will of Zeus. The reason Zeus is subject to the fates is because the fates are the will of Zeus, right? And Zeus, the god of Olympus, is not necessarily the Zeus whose will the fates are representing. But anyway, the fates themselves, right? So anyway, do not heed the voices of the Erinyes. So the Erinyes in the Derveni manuscript, the Erinyes' jobs are to distract you from Zeus, right? And then whip you for being not pursuing God, right? So do not heed the voices of the Erinyes, who fill your ears with false and dreadful sounds. False and dreadful sounds. Where do we hear a lot of false and dreadful sounds these days? Where do we hear fake news that make us scared? Where do we hear all the terrible things that frighten the shit out of us? Where are we hearing these wars and rumors of war, right? That's what they called it in the Bible, right? All this crap that's going on in the world, if you're not outraged, you're not paying attention. Well, guess what? That's been said since like 1972 or whatever. It's exactly It's exactly the world itself. It's always been pumping people full of false and dreadful sounds about the end of the world. If you read the Nag Hammadi library, the Essenes were saying the same things that we're saying now about the end of the world. We have been living in the end times throughout the history of human spiritual evolution. If you look at our manuscripts, we've always thought the world was ending. It's not new. The world is ending. False and dreadful sounds. The world is what you experience and you create. Your birth, your interests, your hobbies, your love, your friends, your studies, your creations, your writings, your art, your poetry, your emotional feelings about your life. Is your life? That's your life. Is your life? False and dreadful sounds come from the Arignes, the Fates. They're lying to you about what you have to spend your time and your attention on to distract you from what makes you happy. And that is creating your world. You create your world and you become happy because you're pursuing your source and you create what you want. You're pursuing that pure will of God for yourself that you're here to manifest for everybody else. That empowers you to overcome the false and dreadful sounds of their Arignes and the Vanity Fair. They're telling you about this presidential candidate that got shot, and now he's going to win, and we're going to have a strongman president, and it's the end of the world. Okay? Nero was the end of the world, whose number was 666, the number of a man. End of the world. Okay? The Essenes, end of the world. Guess what, though? The Essenes are dead. Nero burned Rome. This strongman is going to destroy America. It's going to happen. It happens. It's going to happen. That's our background of our lives, and it has been the whole time. Everything that we think matters kills us unless we stop thinking it matters and pursue God and pursue our life over the backdrop, dreadful, false sounds of the Arignes and the Vanity Fair bullshit. Your sister and your brother and your mother and your father and their opinions of you and what you do with your genitalia and how you're raising your kids. The expectation that you show up at Thanksgiving and suffer for an hour and a half so that you can have the good fortune to do that again next year. Right? You know, these are the things that we put ourselves through. We make ourselves suffer, and then we have a terrible life, and then we complain about it to everybody, and we make everybody else's life miserable in the process because we're not doing what we want, because we don't get to do what we want, because we're busy fulfilling the obligations we have to people that we don't appreciate, who don't appreciate us. Fuck them. We're magicians. We create our reality, okay? We have to work within the constraints of society. We have to do that. We don't get to just delusionally move into some illusion. Let's not be stupid here. We're not stupid. But we can work within our constraints and start to channel these forces that exist in the middle, Zeus the middle. We can use these forces to create our lives, right? And we find out how to do that by ascending through the spheres, by overcoming our traumas, by embracing our powers, by trying to do something with our lives, by making it an attempt to change things, by fucking failing, by falling on your face over and over again, getting back up, doing it again, because it's bullshit out there. You don't ever fail so bad with this world that you don't get to start over again. Because this is all crap. Okay? It's crap. An 83-year-old can run for president. What? It's crap. Okay? Most of the stuff. Oh shit. I just spilled water all over my electronics. Yeah, look that up, dog. Good thing we have a dog here. Anyway. It'll be fine. I'm not being electrocuted. Anyway. Alright. So, don't put your water dish for your dog next to your electronics under your desk. Alright. Anyway. Okay. So, I get excited about things. Anyway, the Arenes are the backdrop of all things. Okay, they're full of terrifying things, and if you have anxiety, chances are your anxiety is even higher right now because of all the crap that's going on, right? Because that's the Arenes, that's the fates. They are distracting you from your source. Your peace is found when you actually pursue your God. If you're a Hecateon and you pursue Hecate through the rites of Jason Miller's Hecateon or Jack Grail's approach, whatever that was, the ladder or whatever the hell, whatever it is that you're doing to pursue Hecate, the womb of the world, when you embrace her and you work her magic at the crossroads and change the world according to your will, and you pursue more power through her, you're going to find that you are finding that you're overcoming all of the fates, all of the evils of this world, and the backdrop is less important to you, right? When you're pursuing Zeus, the all-in-all, it becomes more powerful with every taste of it that you get, and the backdrop dances to the tunes that you're humming, right? It's great, and you don't control everything. Everything isn't under your control, but it moves according to your desires, and when things change, you know what to do about it. It doesn't matter who you pursue. Right? A friend of mine got back into Christianity after getting out of Christianity. He became super Jewish for a long time. And after he got tired of that, now he's back into Christianity. He's super Christian, But everything he's ever done, he's been super at. 100% devoted. He's incredible. His understanding of how magic works is awesome, right? Because he pursues God. No matter what lens he's looking at God, he pursues God with all of his heart. All right? All of my favorite people, Polyphanes, pursues, I don't know if he even believes in God, but he pursues something, with all of his heart. It's the most important thing to him. Right? Frater and Telekaya. Awesome person. Totally focused on understanding his place in life and making things make sense. He's pursuing God in his own way because he understands how that goes. And this whole thing, right, is all about knowing yourself. The people that really want to know God, if you really want to know God, know yourself first. Solve at coagula, Cleanse yourself, heal yourself, Get rid of all that stuff that's clouding your lens between you and your source, because you are your source. Embrace that. And then the lies of this world fade away, okay? The false and dreadful sounds. For they are misty beings born from air and earth, who darken your mind and lead you astray. But you who have been enlightened by Orpheus's song, know that there is only one God in many forms. This is the mystery of the Orphic tradition of the Zeus cult that we are talking about here. You who have been enlightened by Orpheus's song, know that there is only one God in many forms, and offer him your prayers, libations, and sacrifices, not as gifts or bribes, but as symbols of nature's harmony. We offer the gods our blessings because they offer their blessings to us. Because as above, so below. Because the macrocosm is the microcosm. Because Kether is in Malkuth. We offer our sacrifices to God in recognition of the harmony of nature, right? And God, what is God? God is Bune, the daemon of who gives riches to a man and makes flames to appear on sepulchres, right? God is Ares with his terrible warfare. God is Aphrodite with her beauteous form, with her passionate pursuits. God is Zeus, lust, lightning, robust enjoyment of existence, every aspect of it. God is Saturn, cold, death, the end, fate, unstoppable. God is all those things. God is every God. God is no God. God is you. God is me. Right? In Thelema they say, there is no God but man. Okay, whatever. There is. But is it because man thinks it so? Whosoever therefore shall know themselves shall know all things in themselves. Right? We are the macrocosm of the microcosm. We received a portion of the powers of the seven spheres. The seven spheres are the gods of the planets. They represent these things, right? They are the materializing forces of existence. Right? So anyway, when we make our gifts in harmony, he will grant you peace and joy in life and death, and you'll share his wisdom and his power. Right? That's all from the Derveni manuscript. It's a recreated poem based on some stuff around that. Let me see if I can find this real quick. If you go to sacred texts, sacredtexts.com, there is a copy of Divine Pymander. And all right, here we go. I was talking about called Pymander. All right, so here I'm going to read you what it says about the evil daemon. All right, so the divine Pymander is the mind itself, the logos, right, in the Corpus Hermeticum. This is verse 55 on the divine Pymander. It says, "Rather that I am the mind itself, will not suffer the operations or works which happen or belong to the body to be finished and brought to perfection in them, but being..." Let me go back. Previous one, 54. So the question is, have not all men a mind? Don't all men have a mind? Trismegistus is asking Pymander. Pymander says, "Take heed what you say, for I, the mind, come unto men who are holy and good, pure and merciful." So he says, the Pymander says, I come to people who are holy and good, pure and merciful, that live piously and religiously, and my presence is a help unto them. So the basic thing is, if you're a good person, the Pymander comes to you. If you pursue God, the fates don't curse your ways. If you're not paying attention to evil, you're not manifesting evil. If you're not distracted by the dreadful sounds, you're not creating a dreadful life. If you're focused on, yes, that's evil, but I am creating my life anyway, tend your garden, good fences make good neighbors. You pay attention to what's going on in the world, but you don't necessarily contribute to it. You partake of the world as much as you have to, but you take those resources for your own enjoyment. You create a center of joy and peace, and it manifests for yourself and others. And if we're all doing that, it definitely changes our lives, right? So I wanted to point out that both of these manuscripts tell you how to overcome the evils of this world. In Pymander, it just says be pious, right? Pursue God and live religiously, right? And you don't have to do all these religious practices that the Christians tell you to do, or the Pymander told you to do, or Iamblichus told you to do. They don't necessarily know what's right for you, right? It's not like that. The true religion is between you and your source, because it's Zeus the head, Zeus the middle, Zeus the all in all, right? That's the model that we use for this. The source, the personalities that think that we're so important, and our experiences of the world. That's all we got to work with, right? It's all part of the same thing. And when you understand yourself, you understand the process, you understand how to manifest the experiences that you desire that make the world better for everyone. And it is a struggle. Why is it a struggle? Because I think it's because Gaia loves her monsters. There's something about challenges that is required for progress. I don't know if that's true or not. This could all just be an accident. But life itself manifests in such a way that it eats itself. Right? Living cells, the earliest form of life that we've been able to track, there's a DNA they found that's 4.3 billion years old. They just found out, I just read about it this week. 4.3 billion years old. And it already had an immune system. The first form of life that we can find had to defend itself from other forms of life. It didn't even have a nucleus. It was a cell without a nucleus, and it had an immune system to defend itself. Life eats itself. That's the backdrop of this temporary existence that we manifest into and then die. It is a world of suffering, pain, death, because it's life. Life and death. You don't get one without the other. It doesn't work that way. And it sucks to die, we think, maybe, I don't know. Might be okay. We miss the people when they go. It hurts often to leave. It hurts the people that are left behind, but it also hurts the person leaving if it's a very painful death. I don't want that. We know that pain sucks. We know that there's displeasure and discomfort. Seems like it's always been that way. I don't know why. But the texts that we have and the experiences that I've had based on these texts say that if we pursue God, our true source, if we pursue our philosophy, if we pursue our ideals, if we try to do what we say is what we want to do, if we try to do that, our life is better, is what these texts say. If you pursue the will of God, which is manifest through your choices and your desires and your actions, you will have a life that is not dictated by the Irenaeus with their false and discordant sounds, right? That's what it says, all right? This world is temporary. You're temporary. There is something that will remain when we're gone, when we don't care about who got elected, when we don't care about what happened to America anymore. When we look at it and we say, that's a damn shame, the same way we think that what happened to the library in Alexandria was a damn shame, right? There's only so much you can do, okay? And the more you idolize the temporary things of this world, the further from God you get and the more pain and suffering you endure, because you're embracing an illusion that is going to end. Put your heart, put your eyes, put your mind, put your effort, put your actions into the pursuit of the eternal, that which will remain forever. And all these things in the meanwhile shall be added unto you, they say. The middle will support you. The spirits of the gods and the planets that manifest this world will support you as you seek to create an experience for yourself and others in the backdrop of this terrible world where apparently everything is going to shit all the time. Do the best you can with what you got to work with. If you're in a concentration camp, because some of us are probably going to be in concentration camps, find your way to a moment of joy, whatever that takes for you, because that's going to be our life. All right? Figure out what you're going to do about that. You know? We don't have to put up with it. We can die fighting against something like that, for example. If that's what you want to do. We can pretend like that's okay and just try to make a way through and save as many people as we can along the way. That's what bodhisattvas do, right? So, anyway, thank you all for your time. I hope that made some sense. I really appreciate you partaking in this experience with me. Please take care of the people that you love, and mostly take care of yourself. Because you're the one doing the work. You're the one doing the struggle. It's not the great easy. It's the great work. And it's hard because it's hard. But the solution is just pursue God. And you'll be a lot happier. Anyway, take care. I will talk to you soon.